Hi, welcome to the Ultimate Sports Blog Podcast. Today is Wednesday, February 14th, 2018. Today I'm going to recap what's gone on in the NBA last night, and the same for college basketball. We'll recap college basketball from Monday night as well, and I'll go over an NHL trade that happened last night. Last night, the Cavaliers defeated the Oklahoma City Thunder by a score of 120-112. The new-look Cavs, since the trades, 3-0. But since the new team's been together, 2-0, because they didn't play in that Friday night game against the Hawks in Atlanta. That's a great win for Cleveland. A great 2 wins in a row for Cleveland over Boston Sunday afternoon and then at Oklahoma City Tuesday. And like I said the other day, I think they are the favorites to come out of the Eastern Conference. Cleveland is now 34-22. Oklahoma City drops to 32-26. Carmelo Anthony and Russell Westbrook returned from injury, but give the Cavs credit. They won that game, and LeBron James might just be the favorite to win the MVP. Well, I think he should be the favorite because he's still the best player in basketball. In the case against James Harden is that Chris Paul's on that team, and they're automatically the second best team in the NBA. But my case for LeBron is that the Cavs are just awful when he's not around. So that's my LeBron over Harden case, although I was leaning Harden the past couple weeks when the Cavs were in free fall. But LeBron is just still the best player in the world. In the nightcap of the TNT doubleheader, the Denver Nuggets defeated the San Antonio Spurs by a score of 117-109. Denver improves to 31-26. San Antonio drops to 35-24. Couple losses in a row now for the Spurs. And Kawhi Leonard, we don't know when he's coming back. A lot of other guys are hurt. Aldridge. The Spurs, I think if I'm the Spurs, I just prepare for the playoffs. And I don't think Greg Popovich cares what seed he is, because I've seen them go to the finals as lower seeds before. Although I don't think they can make the finals without a healthy Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard absolutely needs to be healthy if they want to make the finals. And then tonight we have the doubleheader on ESPN, which they're doing a crossover where the announcers from college call the NBA and the NBA people go to college, or the analysts. And it should be interesting. I don't really remember by heart like what announcers are going where. But I know that Dan Dockich is switching to NBA as well as Bill Walton. And then on the flip side, Hebe Brown and PJ Carlizimo are calling college games. So the doubleheader tonight, Boston hosts the Clippers. Doc Rivers goes back to Boston. I'm going to say the Celtics get the win, the bounce-back win that they absolutely have to have. And it'd be big if the Clippers got this win too, because they're in the conversation for the 8th seed in the West, although Utah's making its case. I think Utah gets in because they're just better than the Clippers right now. And Golden State's at Portland for the nightcap. I think Golden State wins. I'm going to say they win by 10. Portland hangs around for a while. Lillard and McCollum will keep them in it. But Golden State's just better, and they should beat the Blazers. And one game tomorrow on TNT, it's the Lakers at the Timberwolves. Give me the Timberwolves at home. Karl Anthony Towns and Jimmy Butler lead the way. Lonzo Ball's not back for the Lakers yet. So, college basketball, I'm going to go over the notable results from Monday and Tuesday nights. On Monday, we had number 14 North Carolina defeating Notre Dame by a score of 83-66. I picked North Carolina on the podcast. 20-7 are the Tar Heels now, and the Fighting Irish are now 15-11. And I went 1-1 with the NBA yesterday. I picked Oklahoma City and I was wrong. And then I had Denver and I was correct. Back to college. Number 20, West Virginia defeated TCU by a score of 82-66. Big win for the Mountaineers. They improved to 19-7. TCU drops to 17-9. And I had West Virginia on the podcast. And in what was a classic of a game, Baylor defeated Texas in Austin by a score of 74-63 in double overtime. I had Texas on the podcast. I was wrong. Baylor improves to 16-10. Texas drops to 15-11. Baylor is now in the conversation for an at-large. They've coming off that big win over Kansas, and they go into Austin and defeat Texas. Impressive 2 games for Baylor. Tuesday, I went 11-1, and the only game I incorrectly picked is the game I'm about to bring up, and that was Georgetown beating Butler by a score of 83-87. I had Butler. Georgetown obviously won. Butler drops to 17-10. Georgetown improves to 15-10. Like Baylor, Georgetown starting to percolate in the conversation for an at-large. And the rest of the picks that I'm about to rattle scores off of, I was correct. Boston College defeated Pitt by a score of 81-58 at Pitt. Big win for BC. They improved to 16-10. Pitt drops to 8-19. BC's in the at-large conversation. Nebraska defeated Maryland by a score of 70-66. Big win for Nebraska. They improved to 20-8. Maryland drops to 17-11. Nebraska's 12-4 in the conference. They should be an at-large. Missouri beat number 21 Texas A&M by a score of 62-58. Mizzou improves to 18-8. Texas A&M drops to 17-9. Both of these teams in the mix for at-larges. Arkansas defeated Ole Miss by a score of 75-64. Big win for Arkansas. They improved to 18-8. Ole Miss drops to 11-15. Speaking of Ole Miss, Andy Kennedy and the team are parting ways at the end of the season. So that's a little bit of college news that had surfacated over the last couple days. Arkansas is in the conversation for an at-large. Number 13, Kansas defeated Iowa State by a score of 83-77. Big bounce-back win for the Jayhawks. They improved to 20-6. Iowa State drops to 13-12. Number 7, Texas Tech defeated Oklahoma by a score of 88-78. Texas Tech improves to 22-4. Oklahoma drops to 16-9. Oklahoma's probably not going to be ranked after this week. And Texas Tech, meanwhile, is making a legit case for a 1 seed. Chris Beard should be the National Coach of the Year. Nobody expected Texas Tech to be this good. The National Coach of the Year should either be Beard, Tony Bennett of Virginia, or Chris Holtmann of Ohio State. I think all 3 of those teams exceeded everybody's expectations this season. And if I had to pick right now, it's Beard. And especially if they win the Big 12 outright, he's going to be the National Coach of the Year in my eyes. So, big win for Chris Beard and the Red Raiders. A notable result that I want to get to, a game I did not pick on Monday's podcast. St. Bonaventure defeated LaSalle by a score of 79-68. St. Bonaventure's in the conversation for an at-large. They improved to 19-6. LaSalle drops to 10-16. I don't think Bonaventure's going to get an at-large unless they win the Atlantic 10 tournament. Even if Rhode Island loses the A10 tournament, I think Rhode Island's a lock for the tournament at this point. And speaking of Rhode Island, they defeated Richmond by a score of 85-67. The number 16 team in the country improves to 21-3. Richmond drops to 9-16. Number 1 Virginia defeated Miami by a score of 59-50. Virginia improves to 24-2. Miami drops to 18-7. Number 2 Michigan State defeated Minnesota by a score of 87-57. Impressive win for the Spartans as they improve to 25-3. Minnesota drops to 14-14. I just mentioned Andy Kennedy and how he and Ole Miss are parting ways after the season. I think Richard Pitino is going to be out in Minnesota after this season. They had a good year last year, but I think he's gone this year. Were a preseason top 25 team, and now they're nowhere near the NIT. And I think Richard Pitino's going to get his price paid, and who knows, especially after what happened with his father at Louisville. I know this has nothing to do with that, but I really don't think Pitino's going to last at Minnesota. And what happened to one of their players, the sexual assault thing, is on Pitino's watch as well. Notable result that I did not pick, Rutgers defeated Northwestern by a score of 67-58 in overtime. Rutgers improves to 13-15. Northwestern drops to 15-12. Northwestern's another underachieving team this season from the Big Ten. Number 18, Tennessee defeated South Carolina by a score of 70-67. Tennessee improves to 19-6. South Carolina drops to 13-13. Last game I picked on the podcast for Tuesday, in terms of Tuesday's games, Alabama defeated LSU by a score of 80-65. Big win for the Tide. They improved to 17-9. LSU drops to 14-11. Picks for tonight. Couple big games tonight in college hoops. Number 22, Michigan hosts Iowa. Give me Michigan at home. Number 12, Duke hosts Virginia Tech. Give me Duke. Number 11, Clemson at Florida State. Give me the Seminoles at home. They're due for a big one. Mississippi State at Vanderbilt. Give me Mississippi State. Number 3, Villanova at Providence. Give me Villanova on the road. Kansas State at Oklahoma State. Give me Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State could use this game if they want any shot in at large. Speaking of bubble teams, this is a big game, must win for both teams, and that's NC State at Syracuse. Give me the Orange at home. Kentucky at number 10, Auburn. Give me Auburn. Georgia at Florida. Give me Florida. St. John's at DePaul. Give me St. John's doing their 4th straight. Seton Hall at Xavier. Give me Xavier. And a big game in the Mountain West Conference. Number 24, Nevada at Boise State. Both of these teams in the conversation for at-larges. Boise's home. I think Boise gets the win it needs. Thursday's games. You have Purdue at Wisconsin. Give me Purdue. Temple at number 19, Wichita State. Give me Wichita State. Number 5, Cincinnati at Houston. Give me Cincinnati. I want to pick Houston, make a case, but Cincinnati's just crushing everybody lately. I just can't go against Cincinnati right now. Number 8, Ohio State at Penn State. Give me Ohio State. That's a trap game for the Buckeyes, so look out there. Number 9, Gonzaga hosts Loyola Marymount. Give me Gonzaga. Utah at Washington. Give me Washington. Oregon at USC. USC. Number 17, Arizona at number 25, Arizona State. That's a big game. Give me the Wildcats on the road. They're just the better team. I like Bobby Hurley's team. They've played well of late. But I just think Sean Miller has the more talented team. Number 15, St. Mary's at San Francisco. Give me St. Mary's. And last but not least, Oregon State at UCLA. Give me the Bruins at home. Before I go, I want to recap a hockey trade that happened last night. The Ottawa Senators traded Dion Phaneuf and Nate Thompson to the Los Angeles Kings for Marian Gaborik and forget the other guy that Ottawa got in return. But I like the trade for Los Angeles. And they improved their defense. Gaborik's not the same guy as he was when he was on the Rangers. So I really like this deal for the Kings. And the Senators are a seller. They free-fallen from where they were a year ago. They were in the conference finals a year ago. And who knows, maybe they trade Erik Karlsson and Mark Stone. I don't think they'll move Karlsson either, but I won't be shocked if his name's thrown out there. I'm doing a podcast tomorrow previewing the NHL trade deadline. A lot of interesting names on the market, and I'll get to it tomorrow. I hope you guys all have a nice Valentine's Day,